But there are moments in sequences where I'm saying the lines, and I'm saying it to a girl. It could be a romantic line. It could be just telling someone to put their phones off. But, but it's but I but there's a point in time where I feel some connection with something which is beyond. I'm Islamic and very proudly Islamic, so I think it's a connection with Allah. But I don't know. I just feel that I'm not here, and there is a strange kind of floating experience that happens. It doesn't happen in all the scenes. It happens sometimes, and at that point, I don't know why I've done it. I've seen people cry after I've finished a scene, apart from the distributors after a flop. But this is it's just people who just cried. I know sincerely. I've had actors and actresses just hold my hand and just go away, and I have not felt a sense of triumph, victory over. That's okay.
Right, whose phone is that?
I've never really felt a sense of triumph that I've cracked the scene. You know, there's some scenes where I get, oh, I've done this scene well, and there is no sense at all of triumph. There's just a sense of nothing. And I think that is a little spiritual, and it happens on and off. And I feel I've given a part of me, apart from the physical part that I worked hard or got hurt or whatever. There is a part of me which is gone, and then I go and see that scene in the cinema hall, and I'm nudging, you see this? Just see this scene. And I say, yeah. And that moment passes, and nobody even takes notice of it. And some really crappy bits that I've done. People start screaming, "Chal chaiya, chaiya, chaiya."
So what is one of those moments where you really felt a spiritual force that was guiding you into how to
I don't know,
I'll
I'll tell you a nightmare for a director, Mr. Kundan Shah. There's one of my earlier films called Kabhi Haan Kabhi Na, which means sometimes yes, sometimes no. That in that film there was a scene where I see the girl I love the most being kissed by her boyfriend. She's going around with this guy. And my scene is that I'm completely shattered, and I stand there with my trumpet. I play a trumpet in the film, and I'm just looking at it, and I'm supposed to start crying, and it goes into a song. And a trolley used to come on my face. It was a mid-shot, would come to a closer shot. And every time the trolley moved, I saw this girl being kissed. It was Suchitra Krishnamurti with Deepak Tijori. And whenever he would kiss her, or I would imagine he's kissing her behind the camera, I would run away. And the camera would come close, and I've gone. And the director, he's a physical kind of director. He beats up his actors, you know. And he's like, "Tu kya kar raha hai, yaar? What the hell are you doing? Tu kahan chala jata hai? Where do you go?" So I'm like, I can't stand here. I can't see this happening. And finally in that scene, I've run away, and I just could not give the shot standing there. And I think it was meant to be like that by the angels. I don't know. I just can't do it. I mean, there's certain things I just can't do. I can't make love to a heroine on screen. Off screen, yes, but no, I'm just joking. But there are certain moments in films where I just sort of don't know why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'll tell you another moment where in the same film, and I guess it used to happen more when I was younger. But I've lost. There's a scene that the ring that the boy and girl are getting married with gets lost, and this boy, I find it. So it's this supreme sacrifice that I pick up the ring, and tears in the eyes, but smile on my lips. I walk up and I give it to the boy and say, "Yeah, be happy." And the scene was, everyone asked, "Did you find the ring? Has anyone found the ring?" And I'm supposed to get up and say, "Yes, I found it." And I would get up and say, "No." And I mean, it's not surprising that directors never worked with me again. But I just said, if maybe this one last bit may still get the girl to marry me, And
so you were so into your character of wanting that girl.
No, I didn't want to say no. I really wanted to get up and show the ring and pack up and go back home.
Wow.
But I kept saying no, and the director would say, "Okay, we'll keep it like this." So there have been moments like this in films. I mean, there's a scene in Karan's film, Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, where there was this long dialogue, and I just come and take the girl's hand and just hold her and do something silly, and we just cried. Actually, I touch her like this, and I go, and they just said, "It's okay, You don't have to say any lines.
Do you need me to let go now?
No, I'll take it.
Yeah, I remember that scene. Yeah,
And things like that happen, and I don't know. I mean, I think it is a little beyond just improvisation.
In fact, I've talked to Karan about this one. There's a scene in Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, which, of course, everyone who knows the film will be very familiar with, where finally, at the end, when you and Kajal are reunited at the camp, and she's now gone from being the tomboy with the wig, she's now a beautiful girl with the sari, long hair, and your daughter's gone there, and after all these years, you know, and Karan has beautifully kept us waiting and waiting and waiting for this reunion. And finally, you two see each other after all this pain and all these years. And it's one shot, there's no cuts, the camera doesn't move, and you two come together, and electricity happens, you know. And you know the scene I'm talking about, yeah. And like, you know, and it's a long shot, you know, and it's this. Is this the scene you're talking about?
Yeah, it's one of the scenes actually.
Yeah, where you go to hold hands.
Yeah.
You don't know whether to shake. You don't know whether,
wrong,
everything goes wrong.
Completely wrong. Yeah.
But brilliantly wrong and worse. And I've said to Karan before, you know, that's such a masterful scene. It's just beautifully played. The camera work is brilliant. The actors are brilliant. The whole thing works beautifully. And he said, "Oh God, you should have seen the other take. It was rubbish." And he said that this was like not supposed to be the proper take. I think it was the rehearsal or something.
So when we thought of the idea and tried to do it, it didn't happen.
Yeah, it didn't happen, exactly. But he says, and it was very funny because he said that when you were rehearsing and the magic was happening, he realized. The cameraman who'd been fiddling around suddenly realized that this shot might be used in the film and suddenly started sort of framing properly and stuff. But I mean, you don't notice any of that when you're watching the film. So, I mean, that's the magic. But then that's the magic of cinema, right?
I guess so. I mean, a lot of things happen. I mean, whenever I'm in kind of company where people want to give importance to your work as an actor or as a person in films, I just like to tell everyone, you know, a lot of things just happen, and the credit is wrongly placed, and it's not, again, being modest, and you get paid one hell of a lot of money for doing this, and you're very happy. But genuinely, if I was to ask, if I was asked how this happens, I would not be able to redo it, recreate it, and I think that's what makes it sort of special. And even I don't know how I've done it. I've not watched my films very often. I've seen them once in a technical trial most of the time. Some of them I haven't seen. And I really want to keep it for my old age and sort of see it. A little narcissistic, but I'd like to just watch them and see how I got it right and hope I can tell people how to do it right. But at this point of time, I don't know really. I'm the worst person to have a master class with.
When you're acting, when you're there, when you're in front of the camera and you're about to do a take, do you ever think of the audience that's going to watch this? I mean, what is your vision of the audience when you're in front of the camera?
You know, I don't have to think of the audience. I just feel, I sort of sense, because I worked with an actress called Shri Devi, one of this really excellent actress, and when I was working with her, I've just done 4 days of work with her in a film. And I somehow felt while she's acting, she can look at herself from the outside, which is an amazing quality, and I can't describe it. I've not been able to do it. But there are times when I'm doing a scene, and I do some strange things in a scene, and I know if I was watching it, I would like it. You know, like there's a scene in Kal Ho Na Ho where the guy is dying, and it's a comic scene normally. You know, guys just die, and, you know, they kick the bucket, and, you know, it's in a movie called It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, where this guy keeps dying and everyone keeps taking off the cap, then they realize he's not dead, and they keep wearing the hat back. It was very funny. And we're doing a serious scene where a guy is going to die and everybody's crying, and then I just die. And then everybody goes, ah, and I get up in a serious scene and I say, not yet, idiot. I know everybody's going to feel sad, and a lot of directors would not allow that kind of liberty. But I just sense it. I like it. A guy to go away giving me a little smile, because I think I'm already crying. I think I can sense a part of it as a watcher, not fully. I'm not completely aware. I can't say that. But what is sometimes termed as playing to the galleries, I think is a good quality. Personally, as an actor, I think it's all right. It is for the galleries. It is for the people who've come to watch. It is not for yourself. And I don't mind doing it. I'm quite happy doing it, even if it is a bit out of character, even if it is a lot out of character. And I just go ahead and do it, because if it makes you smile or cry, I'm okay with it.